Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the panel for Rogue One, a Star Wars story at Star Wars Celebration Europe. Please welcome to the celebration stage your host, Gwendolyn Christie.
To be at Star Wars Celebration! Oh, I am so excited. You all look amazing. This is my first Star Wars Celebration. And I get to be here, not just a fan, but on this stage for the first time while we introduce Rogue One, which is the first Star Wars standalone story. Now, I'd like to just take a moment. It's impossible for us to sit here today at Celebration, particularly at an event called Celebration, without thinking about the terrible events that have happened not far from here. On behalf of everyone, our hearts go out to the people in Nice and in France. I know there's so many people here. I'd like us all just to take a moment to send our heartfelt thoughts and prayers. Okay. Okay, well, at Celebration last year, Kathy Kennedy and Gareth Edwards, they teased us a little sneak peek of what was coming up in Rogue One. And we learned that the standalone film would be based on a line of the opening crawl of Episode 4, A New Hope. Now we're going to delve deeper, get a little bit of a personal look at the behind the scenes, and we've got some special guests. Introducing President and producer, president of Lucasfilm, it's Kathy Kennedy. Director Gareth Edwards. Head of the Lucasfilm Story Group, Kerry Hart. And executive producer, John Knoll. Okay, let's sit down and have a little chat, shall we? So we're here in Celebration in London this year. It's very exciting. How come London?
You know, the amazing thing is, first of all, I want to say we could not be more thrilled, not only to be here today, but to be celebrating 40 years since A New Hope was made in London. I want to take just a minute because out in this audience are our fellow producers, Allison Shermer, John Schwartz, Simon Emanuel. I just want to give them a shout out. I want to give the Disney executives that have flown in from Los Angeles a big shout out. Alan Horn, Alan Bergman. We have Lucasfilm people here. We have crew from Episode 8 as well as Rogue One. So it is a genuine Star Wars celebration.
And Kathy. Woo! Woo! So Kathy, what is a Star Wars story?
A Star Wars story, the thing is, we have this amazing opportunity to be able to tell stories inside this incredible universe. And in the past, all the Star Wars movies have been made as either sequels, prequels, and now we can have these standalone movies that can explore different characters, different places, different planets, different experiences all the way around. And I think that that's something that all of us are extremely excited about.
And why Gareth Edwards? I know it's a bit embarrassing because he's sitting here, but why did you choose him to direct this film?
Why Gareth
why was that?
Edwards? No, seriously, it's funny. When the cameras were swinging around, I saw our DP, Greg. Where are you? Right there. And Greg and Gareth were actually amazing to watch because Gareth made this decision based on a style that he uses with the movies he makes, where he puts the camera on his shoulder for just about every shot. And that really sort of gave us the sense of what the style of the movie might be. And more importantly, it's a style that is unlike any other Star Wars movie. And the whole time we were making the movie, I would often walk onto the set. I'd be like, where's Gareth? And then I'd see him with this huge camera on his shoulder, off in the middle of the shot, doing another angle, finding some incredible way to immerse us inside the movie. And I think that's what is so amazing about his style is this is going to be an incredibly immersive experience when you see Rogue One.
It seems like it really enhances our experience of the world. And Gareth, please can you tell me about your personal connection to Star Wars and what it means to you, obviously not just professionally, but personally, to be a fan and direct this film?
I mean, I think I'm probably a lot like everybody in this audience in that I watched A New Hope every day growing up until that Betamax tape was completely worn out. And if you told me that one day I'd get to direct this film, I'd never have believed you. Like, I sort of think in some parallel world, I'm out there watching me on stage, very jealous, saying, shut up, you idiot, I should be doing that. And it's just been the most insane, most surreal experience you could ever have. Every day, just when you think you've had the craziest day in your life, the next day tops it.
Was there a particularly memorable day for you?
There's a million. On one occasion, we were filming, I was with Felicity, and we're in the middle of a shot, and someone just nudged me and said, pointed at this guy in the corner and said, do you want to meet Luke Skywalker? And I looked over and there was Mark Hamill. And I went over to him and he was wearing a Godzilla t-shirt, which is the film I made before. And I was like, when you go up to someone, you're so much in awe of them. I don't know what I said to him. I was trying to be articulate and intelligent, and I don't know what came out. And he was being really sweet and complimentary. And all I was thinking as he was talking to me, I was just looking in my peripheral vision going, please, Lord, someone be taking a photograph of this. No one's going to believe that I met Luke Skywalker. And the problem with this film is you can't talk about it. You can't tell your friends, you can't tell your family anything. And all I wanted to do was go home and go, I met Luke Skywalker. And everyone's like, how was work? And you're like, yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, fine. Fine. Internally, met Luke Skywalker. How was your day? How was the supermarket? All right? Yeah, fine. John, you are the Chief Creative Officer at ILM. I want to talk to you about the origin of the concept for Rogue One, because you actually came up with this years ago while you were working on another project. Can you please tell us more about what inspired this idea and your creative involvement with the film both then and now?
Yeah, actually, this started about 13 years ago when we were shooting episode 3 in Sydney. And I heard that George and Rick were developing this live-action TV series. And I got thinking about what sort of fun stories you might be able to tell in that episodic format. And I started playing around with this idea, drawn from the opening crawl of 4 of the sort of Mission Impossible style spy mission to steal the Death Star plans. And so I started tinkering around with what the plot structure of something like that might be. And then a day or two later, I was chatting with Rick, and I asked him about the show, and he told me sort of what the era and general subject matter was. And then I realized, well, this idea has no place in that concept. So I dropped it, and it wasn't until later when the new slate of films was announced a few years back Beyond the saga films, we were also doing these standalone stories. And I was thinking, you know, that original idea could make a pretty good standalone film. And I was chatting just informally with friends at work, and we'd be talking about this slate of films, and I'd give them the informal pitch. Well, how about this? How about Imagine? And I got such enthusiastic responses when I would describe this that I couldn't help but continue to make it a little more elaborate and kind of think through some of the character arcs and who these people are and how this might end. And finally, I made this sort of informal pitch to a friend of mine who said, "Oh my God, you need to make an appointment right now with Kathy and Kiri, and you need to pitch this." And I realized, well, actually he's right, because if I don't, I'll always wonder what would have happened if I had. So.
Wow. Wow, from those really early dreams, it's amazing what can happen, isn't it?
It's kind of surreal to be here
Yeah.
doing this.
Yeah, tell me about it. So you've got some early concept art with you, is that correct?
Yeah, I think we have one bit of art to show. This is the very first bit of art that was done for Rogue One. This is sort of going back to one of the initial core ideas of this being, I've always loved these films where you have a small group of extraordinary people with complementary skills that come together to do something amazing that you see in commando films, things like Guns of Navarone, caper films like Ocean's 11, things like that, the original Mission Impossible TV show. And so this was our original group here.
And Kiri, in developing the story, how do you balance the old and the familiar with the new?
I think this particular movie is a perfect bridge into these new types of movies that we want to do, because it is it's grounded in this piece of Star Wars history that everyone knows happened. And every Star Wars fan knows that the Death Star plans were stolen, and really this is just our opportunity to expand on, you know, as John did, that one piece of information to really build out a completely new story, new characters, but yet it's happening in a familiar moment in time on the Star Wars timeline. And so I think it's a really great blend of old and new, and I think Gareth has done an amazing job of visualizing it in a way that feels really fresh. But there are story elements that will feel really, you know, connective and familiar to Star Wars fans. And it's an amazing combination.
And there's all sorts of new environments as well, aren't there?
Absolutely.
Gareth, please, can you tell us a bit about those?
Yeah, my favorite one probably, because it meant we got to go to the Maldives, is a planet.
Which was like a trick that you played on us.
Sometimes you got to take one. Sometimes you got to take one for the team, haven't you? And it's a planet called Scarif, and we were going for realism throughout the film, and so we tried to go to real locations. Just so happened it was set in this paradise world. We had to go to paradise to film it. It was a nightmare.
It's tough, yeah, it's a tough life.
And it's funny because all the guys you see in this picture, this is the Maldivian army. And as we're filming it, we're thinking, God, it's so cool. Imagine being these guys, and they must be so excited. And at the end, you go up to them, you say, so that was cool, right? You know, you got to be stormtroopers. And they're like, what? You got to be stormtroopers. And and you go, you know Star Wars? No? And you're going, you know Star Wars? You know stormtroopers? And they're like, no. And you go, do you know what any of this is? And they're like, no. I mean, like, do you feel really stupid? And they're like, yes. So they're going to have a surprise when these billboards turn up in the Maldives for them.
It does look incredible, though, those stormtroopers wading through the most beautiful water. I think that's what I found so arresting. Feels like it's a new image for us.
A storm actually started coming in when we were filming this bit. And the problem is, it's like, if you use it, people think it's like bad VFX. Because it looks like we've cut things out and done things to it, and we haven't. That's exactly how it looked on the day.
So, have you brought anything else to show us today?
Whoa. This is, okay, well, something that we can reveal for the first time right now is the new poster. As a gift to everybody here, you're going to get a free poster on your way out. And I promise Kathy Kennedy is going to sign every single one of them. So form an orderly queue out the back. It's only 4,000. It'll be fine.
Thanks, Karen.
Are you excited about your poster? Okay, now I would like to introduce some more special stars for you. I would like to present some of the cast of Rogue One. Introducing Diego Luna. Riz Ahmed. Felicity Jones. Woo! Donnie Yen. Janeway. Come on. Woo! Alan Tudyk. Woo! Mads Mikkelsen. And Forrest Whitaker. Woo! And of course, as we all know, essential to any good Star Wars film is a good villain, a compelling, iconic villain. Star Wars fans, as director Krennic, Ben Mendelsohn. Now that's a cape. Okay, what an entrance. But Felicity.
Wait. There's something, a little surprise for people. Should we do it now?
Yeah. Let's do it now. Yeah.
Okay, so this is a little sneak peek. I don't really know how to tee this up. I'm very proud of the way we approach this film. We tried to make it in a very different way, and hopefully it will come through in the clip you're about to see.
It's like the fantasy you always have as a kid. Everywhere is an amazing shot with amazing characters.
It's about the humanity of it, which just makes the whole thing so real.
Ready, and action! where your heart's beating and you're actually in this situation. You get something very genuine that you couldn't have planned.
You'll actually compose shots that if we were on a green screen set, you just wouldn't have known were available.
Pressure's so high. Like, we're making a film that's right touching my favourite movie of all time. But then if you're too respectful of it, that you daren't do anything new or different, take a risk, then what are you bringing to the table?
X-Wing!
X-Wing! Kills the attack down there! Bang!
I mean, this is really where a film crew like this really comes into their own. That kid, when you were 4 years old, grew up with Star Wars figures. It's a bit like just being that kid again. You're sort of going like, "Arr, arr, arr."
May the Force be with us.
Wasn't that amazing? Amazing! Woo! Last year, I had the incredibly surreal experience of being made into a Star Wars action figure. And today, I would like to welcome you to the club because
Goodness.
here is your Jyn Erso action figure.
Oh my goodness. Thank you very, very much. I feel very privileged to have joined the Star Wars doll universe.
This is actually the very first toy being revealed from Rogue One. It's not as good as mine, but you know, it's great nonetheless.
I don't know, she's got a pretty cool Han Solo gun belt.
Woo!
Oh yeah, inspired by Han Solo.
So Felicity, from what I've heard about your character, she's been compared to incredible heroines like Joan of Arc, which of course I love. And fans also compare this new hero to their favorite Star Wars heroes as well. How is Jyn unique or different to other Star Wars characters?
I feel there's one major difference between Jyn Erso and other Star Wars heroes, Rey and Luke. And that main difference would be that Jyn, she's not a character who's asking, who am I and where have I come from? She very much, we know that about her. We know where she's come from. And that fact is what propels the story and is the beginning of Jyn's journey to find out what her reason is and her course.
Mm-hmm. And she's had a very full life before we meet her, unlike other Star Wars heroes. Obviously,
Absolutely.
No hero can go it alone. Diego, can you please tell us a little bit about Cassian?
Definitely. Hi, everyone. I just want to say I've been waiting for this night for quite a long time. This is actually what got me into the project, the chance to share this energy. It's fantastic. So, yes, I play Cassian Andor, Captain Cassian Andor. And he works for the rebellion, for intelligence. And the team starts being just the two of them. Jin and Cassian, but as the story continues, the team grows. And like any team, there's frictions, there's issues, and it's Cassian who has to keep them together. And one of the most important members of this team is a droid, an Imperial droid that is reprogrammed by the rebellion. And his name is K2SO. And he's probably the best friend Cassian has in the rebellion, or the only one.
And I think that's the first time we're hearing that information. That is a Star Wars special for you.
Oh, was it?
Yes! Woo!
I hope I was allowed.
You were totally allowed. It's fine. You're okay.
I feel
You're
better
okay.
now.
Of course, no Star Wars story could exist without a droid. And in Rogue One, we meet K2SO, played by Alan Tudyk. Alan. Woo! 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 Alan, you are a man of many talents. You're an actor, you're a voiceover artist, and you've actually played a robot before as well. Can you tell us a little bit about what it's like being a droid in a Star Wars film?
Here we go. Oh, look at this. See there, that's him right there. We were in Jordan. This was great. That's what I look like. That's before the CGI, which is exciting. I'm 7'1" in black, which is really my inner person. There you kind of saw my suit on there from the back. Yeah, that's how I look. But look, she gives him her pack, and he doesn't really. Yeah. That's K2. Like, he doesn't, go get the bags, droid. No. I'd rather not. That's not my thing. Because Cassian reprogrammed him, and he did like a data wipe. And when he reprogrammed him, he's not quite all there. He speaks his mind and says things that, I don't know, can be unsettling and just very honest. If you know any old people, it's like that. He just says whatever he thinks. And it was great. It was great to play him. There's amazing droids in the Star Wars universe. C-3PO.
Did you get to meet him? Did you get to meet Anthony Daniels?
I met him at the park. There was a new. What was yours called?
My one was called The Force Awakens.
Force Awakens. So good, you should check it out. Really good, guys. You guys should totally see that movie. It's way good. I met him at that party at the opening night, and I said, I'm K2SO. I'm going to be the next droid in a series of droids, I guess. And he said, do you wear a suit or are you CGI? And I said, oh, I'm CGI. And he said, you shit. Lovely man. We're pen pals. Pen pals to this day. But yeah, because the first C-3PO, they screwed him into the suit, and anyway, he wears the suit, obviously. So.
And I heard a story about something about you in the Maldives, possibly with an animal.
I tamed a lion. Is that the story? There were several. No,
you were on a boat. You were on a boat in the Maldives. I believe it featured Diego and Felicity.
Yeah, but we didn't go naked to swim with weird animals.
I wasn't naked.
It was just you.
That was in your mind.
I thought you were naked.
I was wearing something. But yes, there was a
That's how you like to spend your time, isn't it?
In the water with the animals.
Swimming naked with
wild convening
animals.
with nature. Yeah, there was a whale shark, which, if you know what a whale shark is, it's great to be able to see one in your lifetime. To swim with one is even better. They look like they're huge. They're the biggest shark, and they have spots and they're gorgeous. And so I swam with her. I named her Karen. And again, a pen pal to this day.
Yeah,
We're
good.
Still,
Good. Getting pen pals aplenty from the Star Wars universe.
Still like to do.
And there was also something exciting that happened at a tube station, Gareth. Is this true?
Oh, yeah. Actually, my first job ever in television was just around the corner from where we are right now. And I used to pass it every day and go through the Docklands, the DLR, and all these train stations and think, this is like something from the future. This is like a sci-fi movie. If I ever get to do a sci-fi film in my life, I'm gonna film it here. And then I parked that thought, and then one day when we're trying to figure out how to do these really long shots that involve a lot of running and building big, massive sets, and we were trying to be clever about it, I was like, oh, let's just film it at the Docklands. It looks futuristic. And everyone's like, ha, 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 yeah, very funny. Anyway, how are we gonna really do this? And then eventually the art department got really imaginative, and we did this secret mission where we went to Canary Wharf one night, and no one was allowed to tell anyone because we didn't want anyone finding out. And so as soon as that thing closed at midnight, and you saw these guys with suits getting the last train and walking past, as soon as they'd gone, we all dived in. We had 4 hours. They had to set dress the whole thing, bring all the stuff in. They'd rehearsed it before, and we shot the scenes. And we shot all the scenes, and then we had to be out of there by 4 a.m. And we were like, we got the last one just in time. And as we left, everything had disappeared, and they opened the doors, and all these guys in suits came in, and we were like, morning, morning. and you so desperately want to tell them as you walk past, morning, morning, morning. We just shot Star Wars. He was a stormtrooper.
And that's only 2 tube stops away from here.
I knew this might come up today, so I counted it's 4.
Is it 4?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll start the pilgrimage now. Back to our amazing cast, Riz. Woo! Your acting career has included roles in acclaimed indie films like Four Lions, woo! The Reluctant Fundamentalist, Nightcrawler, and the new HBO show, The Night Of. What attracted you to this film? Why a Star Wars movie?
I thought just to kind of change it up, it'd be good to do a film that other people have seen apart from just that one guy that was shouting. Thank you for your custom. I mean, who doesn't want to do these films? I mean, they attract the best talent across the board, and also Alan. It's just an amazing world to be a part of, you know? So yeah, no, just really wanted to be a part of it. And obviously I've seen kind of Gareth's work and just found it super exciting, so.
And we know also that we have a reprogrammed Imperial droid. Riz, I have noticed in photos of your character, Bodhi, he's wearing an Imperial patch. So what's going on there?
Yeah, well, I can talk about this, can't I? A little bit?
Yeah, just a little.
Yeah. You know, Bodhi is a pilot, and he works for the Empire, you know, to earn a living. And people work at big organizations, they don't agree with everything they do. But you gotta...
He's maybe...
You don't have to get judgy.
He's maybe questioning.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe.
He's kind of questioning things, and the planet that he is, the city that he is from, is actually an occupied planet, and it's the actions of the Empire and the stuff that he's forced to be involved with over there that kind of makes him question his career counselor.
And Bodhi's home is also where we meet Donnie and Jang's characters. Woo! Baze and Chirrut. Gareth, can you tell us about Jedha?
Yeah. Jedha's, I guess the easiest way to explain it is obviously our film takes place in a time where there are allegedly no Jedi remaining, but people still believe in the Force, and they still have that spirituality. And essentially, Jedha's like the Mecca of Star Wars, in that people go on pilgrimages, and the problem is right now is when the story begins is it's an occupied territory by the Empire, and we get sucked into a story that involves these wonderful people to the side here.
And two of the most important characters we meet in Jedha are Chirrut and Baze. They become crucial to the team and are played by Donnie Yen and Jiang Wen. Donnie, what can you tell us about Chirrut?
I just want to say hi, everybody. I'm Donnie. May the force be with all of you. I play a blind warrior who lives in the planet Jedha. I can't see, but I can feel with my heart and believe in the spiritual of the force. And obviously, me and Jiang Wen we are the baddest fighter from Jedha. And me and Jan, his character Baze, we are very good friends. And that's about the story I'm about to tell, right? That's it.
You don't.
I
No,
can't
you,
say too much, right?
You
It's
don't
under
look at me.
my
Look at
contract,
Kathy.
right?
Yeah. Maybe it's time for Jiang to tell us about Baze.
He's right. He's totally right. And sorry, my English is very limited. I come from Beijing, and well, thank you. Thank you. What I say about this character, I have to say, Baze has a gun. Am I wrong? He has a gun. He has a huge gun. He has a weapon. The weapon's very huge. Is that right? Okay.
I've heard it's right.
Is that English, right? Okay. So he and me was a partner, and he of course, believe in force, but my character don't believe force at that time. But I pretend all of them know them, just them, to do very, very big mission. So
I think you've got to leave it there.
Anyway,
I think you've got to leave it there.
anyway, I have a gun.
Yeah.
I have a gun, a weapon,
big gun.
It's a
huge
great
gun.
gun.
Thank you.
Huge gun.
That is Baze.
Forrest.
Sorry, my unlimited.
Forrest, we've learned a lot about your... Woo! We've learned a lot about your character's deeper connection in the Star Wars galaxy. How does he connect to this band of misfits? I think we can definitely call them misfits.
Good to see you all. Saw Gerrera is a rebel fighter. He's been fighting for years against the Imperial occupation. He's a guerrilla fighter. He has been controlling a group of rebels that are out to the extreme. We're talking about that there's a series of different rebel groups that coming together as an alliance, and all of these people are different parts of that. I'm leading my group, which by any means necessary, he'll do what he needs to do in order to save the world. He was trained as a guerrilla fighter, and then he was trained by the Jedi as well.
And Saw was originally revealed as an animated character, a character that originated with George Lucas.
Well, yeah. I mean, when Gareth introduced me to the character, I was amazed, and I went back and started to look and see the series, The Clone Wars, and really understand what was going on with that. And so that's how I was introduced, and he's been integrated in working with Jen and everyone to make things move forward.
Thank you. Gareth, for you as a filmmaker and as a fan, what was it like for you bringing to life a character created by George Lucas? Did you meet George Lucas? Did he come on set or?
Well, one Friday I got a phone call of John Schwartz, who's one of the producers on the film here. He calls me up and goes, "Guess who's going to visit on Monday?" And I was like, "I don't know." He's like, "Have a guess." I sarcastically went, "George Lucas?" He went, "Yeah." I was like, "Shit." And so I spent the whole weekend just crapping myself about this. And was very surprised because he is the nicest guy. He's got an amazing sense of humor. And we were showing him around all the stuff, and it's the honest, I challenge anyone to have a more surreal experience than showing a Star Wars film to George Lucas for the first time. It is right up there. And we were, and he'd start criticizing stuff, and you'd get really nervous, and oh God, oh God, oh God. And then he'd make a joke at the end, you realize he's being sarcastic. And there'd be this massive relief, but we were all having heart attacks. We were like, he's got this really like dry sense of humor, which is, I normally love, but I was like riding this roller coaster.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, I want to take a moment to say, like, none of this would be happening if it wasn't for George Lucas. The guy's a genius.
There is a theme, a pattern of fathers in Star Wars films. Fathers' identities and their relationships with their children. Mads, we now have confirmation. Woo! Woo! We now have confirmation that your character, Galen Erso, is Jin's father. What else can you tell us?
That's it. No, honestly, it's, as you know, there's a lot of secrecy around the whole thing for good reasons. My character is a person of interest. A lot of things are revolving around him, so it would be like kind of a big spoiler to say too much, but can I say that he's a scientist, and he at one point invented something so beautiful, so fantastic that it might change the universe. That's all I can say. And then I can say, I'm in a Star Wars film.
Okay, Star Wars fans, I'm bringing him back to the stage. Please welcome Mr. Ben Mendelsohn. I just had to take advantage of that moment, sorry. So I've heard that Krennic is a different kind of Imperial villain.
Right. Yes, he is. He's an Australian kind. We do villainy very well. He is smarter, I think, than most of his predecessors. He's more inventive. He's perhaps a little sexier than some of them. Not quite as sexy as some of the others.
Oh, darling. Darling, thanks.
That's all I've got.
Okay. It was enough for me. Didn't you do something to Gareth's assistant?
It's a lot of people to tell that to. I wished him a very happy birthday, is what I did, and I believe he had a very, very memorable birthday indeed. I yelled at the boy, yelled at him, but it was under direction from Sir.
Okay. Let's just leave that there.
Yes, I think so.
It was cruelty that was invited.
It was necessary.
Okay. I don't think we can talk about Star Wars villains without bringing up one name in particular. We do have confirmation that Darth Vader is in Rogue One. Gareth, what can you say about that? Gareth, can you give me a little hint, a tease about Darth Vader being in Rogue One?
I guess I got a very early Christmas present. And we finished filming in December, and I got straight on a plane to New York to do a voiceover recording with a gentleman called James Earl Jones. Now, I can't tell you what role he plays in the film, because I don't want to give that away. But what's really funny is I went there with Matt Wood from Skywalker Sound, and we were doing, and we're all being very professional. And the way that ADR works is obviously they got their back to you, they're watching the screen, and they're doing the lines, and then he'd turn around and ask you if that was okay. So every time he'd do a line, and I don't want to give anything away, but there was one point where, and we're all like, yes, hi James, yeah, this is great, you're doing really well, yes, thank you. And then he does this one line where he says the word, power. And we just both looked at each other and had this nerdgasm. And we were like reduced to 3-year-olds. And then suddenly he looked back and we suddenly went, that was great, James, if we could just do that one more time. Thank you. Yeah.
That's amazing, amazing. Look, thank you, all of you. I am really excited about this film. I think it looks amazing. And I cannot wait to get into the cinema and see it. Thank you very much to all of you fans who are in the room, all of you who are at home watching on the live feed. Thank you to our incredible filmmakers. Thank you to our amazing cast. And I think before we leave, let's all stand up and do a photo. Yeah, do you want to take a photo of the amazing cast? Woo! I think I might actually try and do a selfie. Okay. We go, and in, everybody in. Thank you so much for coming to Star Wars Celebration!